Hi Kelly, it's lovely to have you here. I just really want to say thank you on behalf of everybody for all of the amazing flowers that you've been making during the Virtual Arts Cafe shows that we've been putting out since the summer. Hi, how are you, Kelly? You okay?
I'm fine, Fiona. Thank you for that. So I really enjoyed doing the paper flowers. It's something that I felt inspired through lockdown. Literally being stuck in the house, having nothing to do, but also having no materials. So I literally went around the house to see what I could find. So I found newspapers, bits of serviettes, and that's sort of where it all started from.
That's brilliant, Kelly. Thanks. I was going to ask what was the inspiration behind the flowers, but I think you've answered that already, so that's amazing. So I like that you're using things that people have at home, because it was really difficult, wasn't it, at the start to get materials delivered and all of that sort of thing. And it's good to use things that we can all have available at home and to use those items to kind of upcycle and get creative with things that we just have at home ready to use. So that's amazing that that's what you do. So Kelly, I can see that you've made some lovely vases. Can you tell me a little bit about those? How have you made those and what have you used?
So using materials already in your house, like vases, like glass bottles, drinks bottles, jars from cooking sauces. You can literally use anything. So that was the idea. Some of the vases you're obviously going to see are from what some of my ladies have made. After teaching them and showing them what to do, they've come up with their own ideas. I thought it'd be really good to show you ideas of other people's rather than just mine.
So that's a really lovely thing that you do, Kelly, because I know that when you work as an artist, you often work with groups of people. And I think that's a really important part of your practice. What you do is you include people and you bring people together through your art. So I just wanted to ask you a little bit about how did you get into making? How did you start off?
So after having a illness, I wanted to find something that kept me occupied during my treatment. So I started doing bits of drawing, arts and crafts, and then I decided to go to university and get a degree in something that I really enjoy and love. And I ended up finding myself as a person who does absolutely everything involving arts and crafts, but I also really enjoy doing stuff within the community.
That's lovely, Kelly. So I'm just thinking about the type of things that you make. Would you class yourself as a sculptor or a painter or a crafter? What would you define yourself as?
I don't think I'm really defined as doing anything, Fiona, to be honest. I do absolutely everything. I've done sculptures, community work, paintings, drawings. It's literally a bit of everything. I think if I focus myself on one thing, it's enjoyable, but I like to be able to move about things and, have a go at different areas and incorporate them together also.
That's great, Kelly. So I like the fact that you use lots of different materials and you talk about wanting to move across different art practices. What is it about making that inspires you?
Well, Fiona, I really, really enjoy having a challenge. So if something's really like you don't think it's going to work, I won't give up on it. I just like to try it. I like to find a way of making it work, and that's just me as a person. But yeah, I do like messing with different materials, seeing what I can combine together to create something unusual, unique. I really enjoy doing that sort of work.
And you talked about previously you found that making helped you. It was something that you were drawn to do. So do you think making helps people when they have challenges in their lives?
So whilst I was going through my illness, I needed something to focus on that wasn't about treatment. It wasn't about hospitals, going back and forth to the doctors. It was literally finding that escape. And that escape for me was doing portraits, focusing on my family, drawing pictures of my family, making things, making people happy really around me, made me feel happy. And it just gave me that escape, even if it was for half an hour. It was just it just took me somewhere completely different to where I was at that time. I definitely like to encourage people to, if they're going through even like just general day-to-day pressures, I try and encourage people to focus on the arts, because I think it really helps. It helps focus the mind. It helps take you off what you're doing, and sometimes it makes you realise, you know, that it's not as bad as what you initially thought, because you're just stepping away from obviously what's going on at that time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think you're right, Kelly. So another part of your work that I'm familiar with is that you do a lot of things where you work in workshop format. So you go to a group of people, you work with them, and then you take away the pieces that they make, and you build an art piece out of those things. So it's all an art piece made up of individual items made by individuals, but it's all brought together in one big art piece. Can you tell me a little bit about that type of process?
Yeah, so the idea behind getting people to make individual pieces and then combining them together is to try and create that community spirit again, because for me, I felt I lost that within my community, and nobody seemed to interact with each other anymore. So like, I remember when I was a little kid, we used to go down to the schools, and my mum used to be a childminder, and she used to actually stand and speak to people in the playground, but I don't feel that's there anymore. I think that connection's gone for some reason. So I think by using art as a sort of a way to get people to interact, it also was to get the generations mixing, so getting the young people mixing with the older people, so they're sharing something in common, which I also obviously think's needed. So you haven't got that divide between young people and old people. It really worked, and I felt that's worked for me when I've done art pieces. People are really interested at doing their own individual piece, but then they're also interested at meeting up to see the final piece that they've created with other people. So I think it's a big part, and a big part of life, and it should be something that we focus on a lot more.
Definitely agree with that. 100%. Speaks to me about people who are making independently, but then it all comes together and it's there for the whole of the community to enjoy. It's just about individuals, but we're all in this together. So I just thought it was really lovely. Something for all of us to think about, isn't it? About how we can continue to make things as a community group, involve people who perhaps haven't made before but are inspired to make by seeing something in their local area. So Kelly, that's amazing. So how can we find you? How can we get involved with any of the arts activities that you're currently doing?
I'm on Facebook. You can contact me on Facebook or by email. I run a arts and crafts group called Yardley Venture. Before lockdown, we used to run on a weekly basis, meeting together, doing paintings, crafts, anything really. We used to get quite messy at times. Since lockdown, we have craft packs go out every 2 weeks. These are to keep the ladies going, obviously, because a lot of these ladies are isolated before COVID. So it helps really just keep going. We also have like a WhatsApp group for the ladies where it keeps them talking, they can pass their ideas around. So yeah, that's where we sort of are at the moment. Hopefully when lockdown's finished, we should be meeting back up on a weekly basis again, getting back to a bit of normality.
Thanks so much, Kelly. It's been lovely chatting with you and hearing about yourself as an artist, about your practice and how you work with others. I just want to say a big thank you again for all of the work that you've done on the Virtual Arts Cafe and encouraging us all to make at home with the fantastic origami flowers. Thanks so much, Kelly, and I really hope that we'll be able to chat again soon.
Thank you, Fiona. Thanks a lot for having me, and I hope to catch up with you all soon. Bye-bye.